Princess, what's up? It's your girl Lina, and first and foremost, I hope that you guys are staying healthy and safe out there. I'm so excited to be able to create this content for you guys and teach you how to do some new fun looks. And today's look, I used the Jetsetter palette by Motives. I was super inspired by this beautiful purple in here called Royalty, and it's definitely a nighttime look. I would wear this to go to a party or even a girls' night out, things that we're all excited to do when this is all over. So if you want to learn how I did this look, then keep on watching. Alright, so I already applied my eyebrows off camera because it always takes me a little bit. And so I'm going to move on to priming the face. I'm going to be using the Complexion Perfection Face Primer by Motives. Looks like that. And just going to put a little dot on forehead, cheeks, and chin. I'm going to move that in using my fingers. Feels really, really nice. It's very smooth, not too slippery. Awesome. Next, I'm going to apply the Illuminating Liquid Foundation. I'm a little bit darker, so I'm going to be using the shade Toffee. I'm going to put it in the back of my hand. And I'm going to apply this using the Motives foundation brush. Just going to warm this up. I like to apply foundation in sections.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late.
Carefully around the eyebrows.
The lights went out cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened.
I'm gonna add some more because I want to go down on my chest. Well, not really on my chest, but on my neck area. Applying some more of that foundation. I like to go in with just one more layer just because I need a little bit of extra coverage. And I'm going to go upwards on the neck. I always go up. I feel like if you go down, you're drooping your neck, and we don't want that. We are women, and we want to look good. And we do not want our necks drooping anytime soon. We want to eliminate that as much as possible. So I apply going up. Okay, if you want to go all over your chest, I'm wearing a tube top right now, so if you want to go all over your chest, you can, but I'm going to change after this, so there's no need for me to do that. I'm going to go just with what's left on my brush on my eyelids. Not really picking up more product because I don't need it. And in between the brows. My hair is up today, so I'm definitely going to hit my ears. Just remember that you got your ears, so later when you shower and wash your face, you can really scrub those ears. But I like everything to match. Everything. My neck, my ears, everything. Just going to use a beauty blender to kind of push the product into my skin. I love to use a sponge or a beauty blender just because it really helps to remove any excess makeup, but also removing any oils from the skin and just blending the foundation out, just in case there's any streaks from the brush. Okay, so now we can move on to concealer. I'm going to be using the concealer by Motives, and I'm using the shade Light Yellow Undertone. And I'm going to go all underneath my eyes. I'm going to also use this concealer to highlight. And I like to really create kind of an uplifted shape with this, so that when I go back in with eyeshadow, I can have a nice almond shape for the shadow. So I'm kind of like edging out where the eyeshadow is going to go. I'm going to go right here, a little bit on the forehead, in between the eyebrows. Just like that, little tiny bit on the nose. Right here. I don't go on my chin because I don't like to highlight my chin. My face is already long enough, so that's pretty much everywhere that I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and use the Beauty Blender and blend that all out. It takes a minute to blend this all out. Take your time, because I like to use the Beauty Blender because not only does it blend out the concealer and the makeup, but it also kind of pushes it into the skin. So it's not just sitting on top of the skin, you know, it's nice and blended into the foundation. So now I'm going to use some setting powder to set underneath my eyes. I'm using the Banana Luminous Loose Powder by Motives. And it looks like that. It has a very, very light yellowish beige color. And I'm going to dip my Beauty Blender into this. And I'm just going to push it right onto the under eye area, which is right here. This is what we're gonna bake with. I'm also gonna put just a little bit extra because we're gonna do eyeshadow, and so in case there's any fallout, this powder will catch it. I'm going to move on to contour. And I'm going to be using the Color Correction Quad because it has these two brown shades right here that I can use for contour, and I prefer to cream contour. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the back of my brush, and I'm just going to choose both of them. This one's a little too light for me, but I like the undertone, and then this one's just a little bit darker. So I'm going to go ahead and mix those two together, and I'm going to start to apply this around the forehead area, into the temples. I'm going to put some of that into the cheekbone. Actually, I'm going to use my beauty blender for this. To the cheekbone. I'm going to go ahead and blend this out by blending upwards or out, I guess. Really creates a nice tan look. So if you want to look bronzier or you want to look a little bit darker, this would be the way you would do it. You would do it with your contour, not your foundation. Your foundation should overall match your body, but if you're the kind of person that likes to look a little more sun-kissed and a little more tan, that's where contour can really, really help you. Go ahead and contour right underneath here. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and set that contour. So now I'm going to go ahead and set everywhere where I contoured. I'm going to be using the 3-in-1 Contour Bronze and Highlight Kit. Looks like this. And when you open it, there is 3 shades. I'm going to use these 2 right here and a powder brush. I'm going to go ahead and start to set everywhere I applied that cream contour. Now I'm going to go in with some more Banana Loose Illuminous Powder with my Beauty Blender, and I'm going to come right below this contour, just like that, just so I can bake right underneath it. So if you feel like the line is too streaky, you can always go back in with the contour powder and kind of just smooth it out a little bit. I don't want, once I take this off, I don't want it to look like a line. So I'll just go back and smooth it out a little bit. Perfect. Now, I personally don't need this to bake for so long, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove it. Like I said, I don't like to see any crazy sharp lines, so I don't bake too long under here. just enough to define the contour. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to eyeshadow. So I'm going to start by priming the eyes. I'm going to be using the Motives Concealer. It looks like this. It comes in a cute little jar, and it's in the shade Light. And I'm going to use a concealer brush, like this. And I'm going to apply it all over the eyelid. I prefer to use something light like this, either a concealer or the eye base primer, because I feel like it really helps with the pigment of the eyeshadow. We always want the colors of the eyeshadow to pop. Now I'm going to go ahead and blend that out using a beauty blender. So that we don't see any harsh lines. We want everything to be nicely blended. Next, I'm going to set that with a translucent powder, and I'm going to be using the Light Luminous Loose Powder. So it's kind of the same powder that we used underneath, except this one's in the shade Light. Just gonna go over that very softly. And now it's ready for eyeshadow application. And the palette that I'm going to be working with today is the Jetsetter palette, because I can't wait for all this to be over so I can be a jet setter again. And I really, really love this color Royalty. It's like a nice, pretty purple color here, and that's the color that I'm going to be playing with today. So let's start. I almost always start all my eyeshadow looks with a soft brown in the crease. You can use any soft brown that you want. I'm going to use the color Profit, which looks like this. And this is from the Boss Babe palette. So this light brown, but any soft brown that you guys have is fine. And I'm just going to start by using a blending brush like this. And I'm going to go into the crease. And this is going to be my transition color, or what I like to call the background color. And I'm just going to move that all into the crease. I'm going to bring it slightly up.
The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away. I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now.
Alright, so now that we have that crease color, I'm going to move on to the Jet Set palette. I'm going to use a smaller blending brush, something that looks kind of like that. And I'm going to use the shade Royalty. And I'm going to use Royalty right outside on the outer corner of the eye. It's really pretty. And I'm going to come in, I would say about halfway into the eyelid. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more actually, because I really love this color. It's so pretty. Beautiful. Really does look like royalty. So it's a little bit more than halfway in. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye. So I'm kind of going right below the crease with this. So you'll see me doing some blending and some patting, because what I'm applying to the lid, I'm patting what I'm applying to the crease right here. I'm kind of blending. I'm gonna grab a smaller brush like this, something a little bit more flat, and I'm gonna bring that underneath. So the bottom, I would say the under your eyes, the waterline area, not inside, but right below it. And I like to connect it to the top, what we kind of did there at the top. And if it's not perfect, it's okay, because we're still going to do some more blending. I'm going to go back in with a smaller eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to go back into that purple, that nice pretty purple called Royalty. And I'm just going to press it in. Put my brush right in there. And this time, because I really want the color payoff to be nice, so I really want the purple to show up. So now I'm going to go back in and pat. Instead of using a blending brush, I'm going to pat the purple onto the lid, and I'm still leaving like a little bit less than half exposed. Okay, so that way you'll get to really see that color even more. Okay, so now I'm going to use a clean eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to go into the color Lavish, which is this color right here. And this is the color that's going to go, can you see that, right inside that lid. And I'm just going to go a little bit over where we applied Royalty, just so it can all kind of blend out nicely. Okay, so pretty. So basically what it looks like an iridescent, really light purple color kind of blending into this more dramatic, deeper purple. How pretty is that? Now I'm going to grab a small pencil brush, something that looks like this. I'm going to go in with the color Pure, which is this white color right here. I'm going to go on the inner corner of the eye, just to kind of brighten that up. How pretty is that? Now we are ready to move on to eyeliner. So, because I'm pretty happy with how this looks, and then we'll probably go back in and blend it out a little bit more. If you want to take your eyeshadow blending brush that we use for the crease, you can take that and just gently blend out any harsh lines. And now we can move on to liner. I'm going to be using the Motives Little Black Dress, and it is a gel liner. Looks like that. We're going to create a liner on top with a little wing, since this is a nice almond shaped eye that we're doing. And I'm using an angled brush, something that looks like that. I like to make the liner come just halfway in, just because it makes my eye a little bit more almond shaped. Now, if you made a little mistake with your liner, that's okay. You can always go back in with the flat brush and the eyeshadow color and just kind of erase wherever you made that mistake. You won't even be able to see it. So I'm pretty comfortable with where the liner is. Like I said, I only went halfway in. And now I'm going to go back and apply some of my favorite lashes. I mean, just look at the difference that makes. I tend to like, if I'm doing a more dramatic eye like this, then I definitely like to make the lashes pop a little more. Okay, so now we're going to move on. I'm going to clean up underneath my eye by using a little bit of that concealer. I'm going to be using the same one that I used earlier, which was the concealer in the pot by Motives, but this shade is amber. It's a little darker. We don't want to use anything too light under here. And I'm just going to carefully clean around the eyeshadow. Very carefully. See how that cleans that up really nicely? And I always go in with a beauty blender and blend out any harsh lines. We'll do the same for the other eye. Okay, so it looks a lot better. And I'm gonna remove this powder using a fluffy, somewhat of a fluffy brush. Just gonna remove that. There actually really wasn't fallout with the eyeshadow. These eyeshadow colors are so good. And the pigment and just the formula in the eyeshadow is really, really nice because I was expecting a lot more fallout and I really didn't get any. So I'm going to go back in. I'm just going to tweak my face and my eyebrow. So using the Motives Dark Brown eyebrow pencil, I'm just going to go carefully and fix anything that I might have messed up while I was applying foundation, or contour or powder or anything, because sometimes you might go over your brows accidentally and you might have to touch them up. So that's what I'm doing now. Very carefully. And I promise you guys I will be doing an eyebrow tutorial for you. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up with some highlight, blush, and lips. So I'm going to apply some highlight and I'm going to use shimmer powder in the shade Star Shine by Motives. And it's so pretty. It looks like that. I'm going to use a small powder brush and I'm going to apply this right here above where I contoured. This is definitely a nighttime look. So if you have a nice party to go to, this is definitely the kind of look you would want to rock at a nice, fabulous party. Going above the brows a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a small blending brush like this, and I'm going to hit that same highlight, and I'm just going to go right here underneath the eyebrow, the arch of the brow. This is where I'm going to highlight the brow. Just a little bit. You don't need to do anything too dramatic. Next, I'm going to go in with a little bit of blush. I'm going to use the pressed blush in the shade Naughty by Motives. I'm going to use a blush brush, smile, and hit the cheeks. I'm going to go in now with some waterproof mascara, and I'm using Waterproof Blackout by Motives. And I'm going to very carefully try to take out some of the lashes from the bottom and apply mascara to them. I don't really have much. Alright, so we're going to finish up by using a light neutral color on the lips since our eyes are played up. And I'm going to be using Daddy's Girl by Motives. It's a pretty liquid lipstick. And it's a nice nude, it's kind of like a nude pink color. Very pretty. And I love gloss. I'm a huge gloss girl. So I'm going to go in and apply Toasty Delight lip gloss in the center. And we are all done. What do you guys think?